man. Am I allowed to speak Quran? Am I allowed to speak Quran? I won't tell you the opinion of some shaykh. He can argue and tell me, cuz, who's the shaykh, what's his asl, what's his name. Forget it. Quran. Can I speak Quran? Allah Azza wa Jal says about dunya, and He created dunya. So He knows it better than you, better than me, better than anyone. He says, وَمَا حَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا إِلَّا مَتَاعُ الْغُرُورِ. You know what one of the opinion is about مَتَاعُ الْغُرُورِ? You know what Allah Azza wa Jal is saying this world is? Mata' al-ghurur, my brothers, with all due respect to the sisters that are here. Mata' al-ghurur is a rag the women used to use as a tampon. And it's not just a rag. Allah Azza wa Jal isn't saying it's a rag. He's saying it's a used rag. Yani it's already got blood on it and it's of no benefit to anyone. This is dunya. Not my words. Allah Azza wa Jal is saying. And He created it. So He knows it for its reality. He says, this is this dunya. This is what you're running after. This is what every one of us deep down in his heart is dying for, waking up for, working 12, 13, 14 hours for, bro. This for a used tampon, bro. And I wish it's that, bro. We're punching on now because of it. We're going to war on the streets now. Muslims are bluntly killing Muslims. Why? For a used tampon. We've sold our deen. Wallahi, we've sold our deen. Go to any masjid you like any masjid for a Fajr prayer, and see how many people choose Allah over dunya. Go. I'm not going to tell you Allah. Go, your own masjid, choose the own masjid you want. Go there for Jum'ah, then go there the next morning for Fajr. And then the same crowd, you know what's funny? You tell, Wallahi, brother, deen or dunya? Astaghfirullah, cuz, what are you calling me a kafir, bro? Deen, brother, deen. Allah comes first in my life. Allahu Akbar, beautiful. You know, my brothers, Allah Azza wa Jal, He's not looking for words. If it's words, we're all awliya here. If it's words, forget it. I'm the biggest aflamja on the face of the planet, bro. I'm on levels. But Allah's not looking for words. What's Allah looking for? Action. Because actions, my brothers, they speak far louder than words. Far louder than words. The same ummah that tells you, brother, I believe in Allah, and I believe that Allah is a Razzaq, and I believe it's Allah who gives and takes dunya. These same people, for Salat al-Fajr, everyone is but then at 6:30 in the morning, he's up on his feet, buying a za'atar manushi with a V and a cigarette, going to work. I'm not saying this is haram, but seriously, what have you chosen, deen or dunya? The same ummah that says to me, nah brother, it's Allah, 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 for Fajr is asleep. But then when he comes to work, wallahi, if his boss tells him, cuz you got to be at 3 in the morning, like tikram ayunak, bro. What have we chosen, man? What have we chosen? So it's not about, you ask yourself, what have I really chosen? Have I chosen deen or have I chosen dunya? What has gotten the better of me? Rasulullah, he knew the reality of this dunya, man. Sometimes people think that, being a Muslim means you have to be a hater for dunya. No. The Prophet of Allah didn't come to tell us to hate dunya, no. He came to expose dunya to its reality. He came to show you how to take the best from dunya and leave the rest of it behind. He came to teach us. And he says in the hadith, he says, الدنيا ملعونة وملعون ما فيها. He says, this world is cursed. There's no good in this world, trust me. He says that whatever in it is cursed, except what? He says, except the remembrance of Allah, more or less. He says, except the remembrance of Allah, or seeking knowledge or teaching, or anything around this. What's this world, my brothers, really? Wallahi, my brothers, you take nothing with you. My sisters, you take nothing with you. This world is temporary. It's temporary. Today you're here, tomorrow you're gone. That's the truth. What did one of the kings of the past, he says to his men, he says, when you bury me and stick my hands out of the grave. He says, bury me naked and stick my hands out of the grave. So his men were amazed. And they said, Kaz, yani, Malish, we understand that you want to go naked, alright, but why stick your hands out of the grave? He says, let it be known that this king, when he left Dunya, he left empty-handed. He took nothing with him, bro. My brothers, wallahi, all your problems and all your dramas and whatever you're going through, it's going to finish as soon as your time in this dunya finishes, man. Harun al-Rashid, one of the great khulafa of this ummah, one of the great leaders centuries ago, yeah? I think he conquered almost one third of the world was under his empire. And then one of the scholars that he was sitting with, he says, look at what we've accomplished. He's telling the scholar, look at what we've accomplished as far as dunya is concerned. So the scholar says to him, he says to him, bro, do you know what the equivalent of your accomplishment, everything you own? He says, do you know what it is in reality? He says, no, what? He says, no, I'll tell you what it is. He says to me, if I invited you over, look at Malish, it's a bit deep, yeah? But think about it. The scholar says to me, he says to me, look, if I invited you over to my house and I fed you a lot of salty food and you became very thirsty after, very thirsty, and there was no water anyway. He says, and I possess the only cup of water. He says to him, what would you pay for the cup of water? He goes, bro, I'll give you half my kingdom. For a cup of water. He says to him, what if I give you the water and then you had to go toilet to do a number one and you're busting and you couldn't go anywhere and you're really, really busting. He says, and I was the only one that had the means to allow you to relieve yourself. He says, what would you pay for you to relieve yourself? He says, bro, I'll give you the other half. He says to him, you and all of your kingdom are worth a cup of water and a bit of urine, man. He says, you and your whole kingdom, in reality, what's it worth? You're prepared to give it all up for a cup of water, and a little twinkle at the end, bro. That's reality, man. That's reality. My brothers and sisters, I'm not here to tell you, wallah, I hate this dunya. No, but take dunya for what it is. It's temporary, man. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he was with Abdullah ibn Umar. And he says to Abdullah ibn Umar, young boy. Abdullah was nicknamed what? What was the nickname of Abdullah? The son of Umar ibn al-Khattab. He was nicknamed Majnoon al-Sunnah. That was his name. Majnoon, wacky, crazy. Majnoon al-what? Sunnah. Abdullah ibn Umar followed the footprints of Rasulullah to the T. To the point, he was that bad, good really, but in our terms, he was that bad that once he was walking in a place on his horse. And he was walking and there was some people there and there was nothing there, and as he was walking, he ducked his head down and then he put his head back up. People looked around and said, what is wrong with this bloke? So they said to him, Abdullah, what did you do that for? He says, I remember years ago when I was with Rasulullah, he came to this place, there was a tree right there and there was a branch, and when he was walking, he bent his head down at that point and put his head back up. He said, I didn't want to move. He says, I didn't want to cross that place and not do the action of Rasulullah, even though the tree wasn't there, man. He was that cracked to the point, but the branch wasn't even there anymore. He says, I wasn't going to go past until I bent my head like Rasulullah bent it. And he followed him to the T. Abdullah says, I was a young boy. He says, and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he grabbed me by my shoulders. And for the Arabs at that time, when you grab someone by his shoulders, what does it mean? It means, bro, what I'm about to tell you now is very important. So Abdullah is saying, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam grabbed me, bro. Look at this honor, man. He says, he grabbed me by my shoulders and he says, Abdullah, he says, كن في الدنيا كأنك غريب أو عابر السبيل. He says, Abdullah, live in this dunya like a stranger, like a traveler. Abdullah says, Wallahi, from that day on, he says, if I live to see the morning, I never planned on seeing the night. And if Allah gave me life to see the night, he says, by Allah, I never planned on seeing the morning. Look at the example, look at the analogy Rasulullah ﷺ is giving us. A traveler, a stranger. My brothers, have you ever been to a place and you're a stranger? Anyway, like, I'm sure, you know, I know for me, maybe, you know, like when I go down north, whatever, in Vaucluse or in Double Bay and whatever, and I have to walk out and go to the shops. Ya Allah, get me the hell out of there, bro. I'm uncomfortable. Why? You're a fish out of water. Fish out of water. Wallahi, you don't even absorb the area. Like, I don't even, just get me out, bro. Get me out. That's a stranger. He says, or a traveler. And I love the analogy of the traveler. Why? My brothers, when you travel, my sisters in this dunya, when you travel, what do you take with you, man? Do you take your car? Do you take your house? You take a bag, man. You take a bag. If you're led, you take a really big bag. But nevertheless, it's a bag. True? It's a bag. Maybe your aunt will give you the ghasili, take it to your uncle in Lebanon. Other than that, really. But in all, what do you take with you? What do you travel with? The necessities, bro. I'm going to an area that I don't know. What do? You usually jump online. What's the weather like there? If it's really hot, do you take winter clothes with you? You might take a jumper in case I get caught out. Minimums, bare minimums. Do you take all your wardrobe? You take what I need, man. That's how you should really live in dunya. The bare minimum, man. What do I need to get by? What do I need to get by? And then he says, what? You're a traveler. He says, this world, he says, he's speaking about himself. He says, my example to this world is like someone walking by, someone who's traveling. He sees a tree. Someone's walking in the desert. He sees a tree. He says he takes some rest under the tree, takes some rest for an hour or two, and then picks himself up and continues on. He says that stay, those 2 hours of rest, he says that's my dunya, man. Brothers and sisters, wallahi, that's what you're doing here, man. Anyone here traveled? Anyone ever flown to Saudi or to Lebanon? Yeah? You fly where first to? Abu Dhabi, Dubai, and you're there in transit. Usually for how long? 3-4 hours tops, yeah? 3-4 hours. You're there in transit. Look at the analogy of Rasulullah ﷺ. He's telling you dunya, really, dunya is Dubai airport. Really? Dunya is Dubai airport, and your destination is where? Wherever it is, whether it's Saudi or Lebanon. But in reality, what's your destination? Where does everyone here want to go? To Jannah. And I'm here. Did you ever in your life go to Dubai airport? I want you to imagine, me and Yas, we went to Dubai and we're in transit there for 3 hours, okay, and my connecting flight is at gate 54. So me and Yas arrive, he looks at the time, he says, bro, we've only got a few hours, man, there's no point. Where's gate 54? And he starts walking off to gate 54. He says, Mohammad Hoblos, come along. I said, cuz I'm not coming with you. Show me ya. Bro, look at this airport, bro, look how mad it is. Look how hectic it is, bro. You see the shops? Bro, they have a booth, you can smoke in it. And if you're outside, you can't smell it, bro. Wallah, you can't smell it. He says to me, but bro, our connecting flight is in a few hours. We need to be waiting at gate 54. I tell me, but cuz, man, alright. Let's just at least enjoy our time here in Dubai. He says to me, yeah, but it's an airport. I tell him, yeah, but I want to buy a house, man. You're laughing. But that's what we're all doing here. I'm not saying buying a house is haram now. Come to me, oh, Hoblos, bro, you saying that if I want to buy a house? No. But the concept of it. But if I told you I went to Dubai airport and I bought a house, I started looking for a wife, opened up a business, and my connecting flight is in 4 hours. Yeah, tell me, bro, you're a spinner. Wallahi, we're laughing because we know connecting flight is when? 4 hours. What are you doing in 4 hours? You might go to the toilet, grab a feed, buy a sandwich, you might buy something small for someone, but that's all you really do. And then you go to gate 54 and you wait for your flight. Wallahi, 4 hours is a long time. No one here is guaranteed 4 minutes. And in reality, what are we all doing, man? We're making dunya what? Our home, man. We're making what? Dunya our what? Our home. And my brothers, the reality of it all is, we need to understand, and I'll end with this. I can see the brothers are getting tired. The reality of dunya, and I gave this example when I was here last time, when we spoke about Jannah and that. My brothers, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He designed dunya in such a way, it can never please you. You can never be satisfied here, my brother. My sister, wallahi, no matter what you have, you will never, ever be happy. Designed by Allah this way. The only time you will ever see true happiness is where? Is in Jannah. This world can never satisfy the hunger of man. Never. And I give this example all the time. It's a funny example, but it's true. And I'm sure many of you, so I speak about myself so no one gets upset, no one gets offended. I remember when I was young, I was a little boy. Does anyone remember when the Nintendo first came out? Yeah? But the original. The box one, the one with had the duck hunt. That. When that thing came out, bro, I couldn't care less about anything else in the world. All my happiness and all my fikr and all my concern and all that I ever wanted to live for was that Nintendo, bro. Little, I was a young boy, man. Mom, dad, I'll clean the house, I'll clean the car, I'll clean my shoes, I'll clean this, I'll clean that. Please, 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 please. And everyone else around me is buying it. And wallahi, subhanAllah, at the time, my mom and dad were doing a hajar, bro. So this Nintendo business, like, روح كحش حالك, man. Allah تركني من على القضية, bro. But in my heart, I'm burning, I want it. Why? Because I was convinced, like you're convinced that the house you want to buy is going to bring you happiness. Like you're convinced that the car you really want is going to bring you happiness. I was convinced, same, that this Nintendo was going to change my life. Until my mom eventually, she saved up enough money. And then Allah, she bought me the Nintendo, bro. And wallah, my smile was from ear to ear, man. Happiness, true happiness. I didn't know how school would finish. I was doing these ones only. These ones. Why? Happiness is there. Happiness was at home. How long did my happiness last? Until the Super Nintendo came out. And because it took my mum so long to buy it, she bought it almost before the new release of the Super Nintendo. So the gap between my Nintendo and the Super was like very short, bro. Wasn't like the guy who bought it 3 years ago. Ya Allah. Come on, man. So what happened to my happiness? This isn't happiness, this is chat. I can't continue on like this. So I come up to my mum. Oh Allah, mum, the Nintendo you bought for us and that, Allah, yani, thank you very much, but mum, Super Nintendo's out, man. And this is it. This was my happiness, and I was convinced beyond all doubt. And even though I had a Nintendo, I had that thing that was supposed to give me happiness. But where was my heart now? I can't keep telling you about Super Mario Brothers and you're telling me about Mario Kart. Doesn't work. Tell me about the left and the right button and my right shoe and this misery. What was supposed to bring me happiness was now bringing me the biggest misery of my life. And I kept insisting and begging my mum until she got me what? She got me the Super Nintendo. What happened when I got the Super Nintendo? Yahra Abu, the Nintendo 64 came out. Ya Allah. And this is my life, bro. Nintendo 64, then the Nintendo Cube, then the Nintendo Mabarif Ash, and then And my heart is being ripped apart, bro. Left and right, left and right. Ultimate happiness, ultimate lows. Ultimate happiness, ultimate lows. Until eventually I got to a point where what? He's still playing computer games. I gotta start driving, bro. I remember crossing the days off the calendar, man. Crossing the days until what? Till I turned 16 so I can get my L's. Then I got my L's. Look, I'm sure everyone here, to one point or another, even if you're old, young, every one of you has walked through these shoes. I was convinced beyond all doubt the misery in my life is because I can't drive. I need a license. Then I got my L's. Then I got my P's. I got my license. Now what was the pain in my life? I need a car, bro. I can't keep driving my dad's Tarago van around. Bloody embarrassing. Remember the first car you ever bought? Does anyone here remember the first car they bought? They're the biggest POS on the face of the planet, bro. The biggest heap of crap. But I drove that thing like it was a Lamborghini Gallardo, bro. In the streets until they called you a grunk. Did you care? Honestly, did you care? Like, call me what you want, bro. I'm cruising around. Now the system in my car was worth more than the car. I started going, wallahi, areas. Brighton, I never knew Brighton before that. Now, wallah, I was doing laps around the place. Why? But really, why? It was happiness. It was happiness. Now, that first car was the best. Now, wallah, you wouldn't drive it if I paid you to. I'm going to jump in there. Are you serious? And you've been changing cars since then. We've been changing cars since then. Are we happy? Honestly, are we? Wallahi, brothers are rolling out cars, rolling them out from the factory. Oh, didn't you get one with a sunroof? Yours doesn't have a sunroof? Nah, bro, I don't have a sunroof. That's chat, bro. What a spinner, man. That's dunya, man. And then for the other boys, Malash, let's spice it up. Am I allowed to spice it up, or do we need to end it? We spice, huh? There's a bunch of spinners, bro. After the car, what happens when you get a car? Honestly, am I gonna still keep driving around if this bloke's head next to me, bro? I need an L-gay sitting next to me, man. What's my problem in life now? I gotta get married, man. I gotta get married. I can't keep doing this. Cause wallahi, bro, Allah, as soon as I get married, I'm gonna give my life to deen. How many times you heard that, man? How many sisters? Wallah, as soon as I get engaged, wallah, I'll start wearing the hijab. Have you heard that? Have you heard that one? Until she's got 3 kids, still unscarved. Yeah, soon. These are the tricks of dunya, man. Tricks of dunya. Sisters, the poor thing, she look at the sickness. The sister thinks that if I cover myself, Allah will deprive me of a husband. So what should I do? Let me fall in sin to do something halal. Brothers are now falling in sin, falling in haram. The brother has neglected his deen, neglected salah, lost all hope, all yaqeen in Allah Azza wa Jal, because I need to get married. And up until I get married, I'm not going to pray, I'm not going to fast, I'm not going to go to the masjid. My happiness, my problems, my dramas is in the fact that I'm not married. Tayyib. All the single boys here. Brothers come up to me, Hoblos, bro, Allah, bro, Allah, I can't do this anymore, bro. I gotta get married, cause man, hook the brother up. Hook the brother up. What are the skin, eh? The single boys are thinking, no, bro, trust me, I know, cuz. But if you're single, please, go to anyone who's married, especially the older guys, tell him, cuz, did you find happiness in marriage, or you didn't find it? And he'll tell you the truth, bro. He'll tell you the truth. Did you hear the joke? A young boy goes with his mother, they went to a wedding. This is new to him. So he goes to the mum, his mum goes, how come the bride's in white? She goes, this is the best day of her life. This is the day she's been waiting for. This is the day of happiness. This is the day of joy. This is the day of... So why is the groom in black? Wallah, Because it's... And that's the truth, man. That's the truth. Every one of us here is convinced that because when I get married, I'm going to find happiness. And I walk those shoes. People start telling me about what? The honeymoon. You heard that? Look at, honestly, look how nice the name is, eh? Honeymoon. I thought honeymoon means what? Oh, I was going to go to Malaysia, go to the hotel, and what? Honey was going to fall from the sky and from the roof and shoe and khalas, bro, I couldn't care less. Wallahi, some brothers, when it comes to marriage, he's so convinced that this is his happiness, he ends up marrying a woman that's not good for his deen, a woman that all of his family is totally against. Wallahi, we do the ajaib. We do the ajaib, bro. We marry, oh my heart, oh my heart. People, you think, cuz what were you thinking? What were you thinking? But we go through extreme measures. Extreme measures. I remember when I got married, I was about to go on my honeymoon, an old man came up to me, Wallahi, now, I want to know where he is. So I can kiss his feet. He sees me happy, he's obviously miserable. Yes, why are you so happy? The shahr al-asal, I said, I'm going on my honeymoon, bro. Ali asal, Allah asal, bro. He said to me, I can enjoy the asal. I said, what do you mean? He goes, khalini lak shaghalina. What's that? He gets me the first few bites, yeah, they're honey, bro. I said to him, he gets me then down the bottom, it's something else. Mash, with all due respect. I said to him, nah, cuz it's not like that. He gets me type, alright. I'm not going to tell you about me, on my honeymoon, bro. 3 days into my honeymoon, wallahi, I wanted to throw up from the hotel room, bro. Open the window and just do those ones. I didn't sign up for this. I didn't sign up for this. Babe, I'm not having a go at my wife. That's the reality, man. That's reality. How many of us now, we're having marriage problems? Why? Because we didn't think beyond the marriage. We didn't think beyond the wedding day. I got married, yeah, and so what do I do now? My brothers and sisters, your happiness, wallahi, is not in these things, man. Yes, we get married. Yes, we work. Yes, we buy a car to get on with life. Yes, I might buy a house if I can afford it through halal means. Yes, to shelter my family. Of course, this is all, you know, these are all the requirements of life. Yes, we do these things, but not at the price of sacrificing my deen, man.